LimeVibe, from every life, from every far. LimeVibe, from every life, from every far. LimeVibe, oh, LimeVibe.
Good night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yori Kemp, the host with the most, and I'm riding solo tonight. My co-host, Kimberly Ramkalawan, she's going to be a little tied up tonight. I'm not sure if she's going to make it in time for the show, but you've got me. You didn't hear my intro song, so let me start that again so I can give you a chance to hear it. I love our song. I really love our song. Let's start it over again. Let's go.
LimeVibe, come let me lime, come let me vibe. LimeVibe, come let me lime, come let me vibe. LimeVibe, oh, LimeVibe.
So there I am once again. Yori Camp, I'm your host tonight. I'm going to be riding solo tonight. I gotta say, I had a great night tonight, man. I had a great day today, actually. I had a great day. I just came back from the Stations of the Cross at my Anglican Church, Christ the King, and I had a great time this evening, man. I read the 14th station on behalf of the Anglican Church Men's Group, and so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling charged up. I'm feeling covered in the blood tonight. So hopefully God will guide me through this episode by myself, and we'll see how things go tonight. So we don't have much to talk about tonight, aside from best myself. Like I said, I had a great day today. And it's a good Friday. We're ending the week on a good note on this Friday. So that's all. That's really good to say, because I'm still here. God woke me up this morning. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling healthy. I'm probably going to get up tomorrow morning and go take a jog and probably go to the gym and work out and then do some more studying. But I got through the week fairly well. All the things considered, I'm doing pretty good, man. I went to the gym this morning as well too. I go to the gym every morning. I normally take a run, probably no less than a 3-mile run. Then I go lift some weights and I, get prepared for the day. So I start my day around 4:00 every morning because I'm an early bird. I need to get that workout in early because anytime later, I'm going to be late for work. So I like to get in between 4 and about 6. And that starts my day off right. Come back, read my Bible, have some devotions, then start getting ready for work. So that's my day. That was my day this morning, actually. And then, of course, I have the Caribbean Magazine Plus, my magazine, my online magazine. I put up some stories for that. And I went to my 9 to 5, and that's been my day. Typically normal day. It's a normal day for me. And so, yeah, I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling really good, man. But some things in the news is happening. Apparently, San Francisco is going to allow for reparations for eligible Black Americans in San Francisco. And they're giving up to $5 million to Black Americans. San Francisco is doing that. It's going to be the first U.S. city to actually offer reparations for African Americans. And I think they're going to set the trend with this. They're going to be the blueprint for this. And so San Francisco has always been a liberal city. It's very open and welcoming to the gays and lesbians and Black people and people of color and Latinos and minorities. And so there are Kim's coming in right now, actually. So I'll just wait for Kim to patch in. So San Francisco, yeah, they're having their own reparations, and that's good. Hi, Kim, how are you?
Hi, Yuri. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, I guess we're starting off. I was prepared to go solo, Kim. The beautiful Kimberly Ramkala want to say all this.
It's Friday night.
Friday night. You got jumbies around you or what?
No. I had to prepare dinner.
Oh, dinner, okay.
And then my phone died, and I had to do some errands quickly this evening. So it was a hustle. I am so sorry, but things happened this evening. I needed to go to the pharmacy and things like that.
Oh, we're glad you're here, though. I'm glad you decided to share your night with me and Carrie let me have you on Friday nights. That's good.
Oh,
So, what do you cook though?
One day he will ask for payment. What else? I just made a quick toss some vegetables and stuff together, and that was it.
Okay, you had a veggie night. Okay, soft night. I had a hamburger, man. I had a homemade hamburger.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I love homemade hamburgers.
I
love them,
thought
man.
everything would have been okay, but yeah. A lot of things happening today, though. I know we were discussing what was happening with Putin and the ICC.
Yes. But I started off with San Francisco giving reparations to Black Americans, eligible Black Americans.
Wow.
Up to $5 million apparently to each eligible person, from what I understand. And so it's a big thing. It's the first American city to actually even consider reparations, let alone actually move forward with it. So there you have it. So San Francisco is leading the way. But San Francisco has always been a liberal city. It's always been welcoming the gays and lesbians and minorities and people of different backgrounds and different ethnicities. So I can see San Francisco doing that.
Yeah, for sure. They're usually welcoming, quite open arms.
Yes.
You've got the Indians there, you've got the Chinese. You could go down to the market and you will see many people, different races, everyone.
Yes. And that's where Kamala Harris is from, isn't she? She's from San Francisco, right?
So perhaps.
Yeah.
But today is St. Patrick's Day,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm wearing green. My cousin, who is married to an Irishman, and she lives abroad. Her name is McCarthy. Her surname is McCarthy. And she's celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and she told me, make sure and wear green, otherwise it's bad luck. Someone will pinch you.
Oh, Lord. No, I forgot to wear green. I put on this black. Man. Oh,
you all
Lord.
have a big Irish community there in the Bahamas, not so?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No Irish community at all.
Irish.
There's some last names that could pass for Irish, but I don't know their lineage. But I could assume though some of the former slave masters were either Irish or Scottish, because you could tell by the accent and some of our family islands, you could tell they have a Scottish or an Irish twinge to it. Especially the people in Lutheran, you could hear the Scottish mixed up with the Bahamianese and the English. You could hear it in their dialect. When they say Harbour Bay, it's Ever Bay, and you could hear it in them. Like you could hear that it's a different English to them. So, yeah.
Well, in Trinidad, we do have a good bit of Irish. They're not so prominent. They would have come with the Carney 1975 Limited. They would have worked on the sugar estate, as in they were owners of the plant, well, obviously owners of the plantations. A lot of them came here as engineers to run the train system, the railway, to run a lot of the factories. So there were a lot of Irish engineers here in Trinidad. We have Jeffrey McLean, he is one, and if you ever hear about Glenn Beaton, he talks a good bit of the train system. His family is Irish. Okay. And usually the pubs in Port of Spain, they celebrate the St. Patrick's Day. They were drinking lots of Guinness.
Pints of Guinness. I know. That's the tradition on St. Patrick's Day, right? But I found out something interesting about St. Patrick, though. Apparently, he was a slave that was brought to Ireland.
He was. I did not know that one.
Yeah, he was. He was a slave that was brought to Ireland. He came back and he started to preach the word of God. And he was he's canonized. He was given sainthood. So that's an interesting story about St. Patrick. We're also informative here on the show. We're not just all fun and games here.
No. There is a Christian meaning to it. I think it's gotten lost with all the what would you call superstition things that go with being Irish, like the leprechaun and the clover and things like that. Yeah. Clover. But it does commemorate St. Patrick.
Exactly.
I think it was the arrival of Christianity in Ireland.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And they said that he drove out some snakes from the land. I know that you see a lot of memes and things like that.
Yeah. It's amazing. But I didn't realize he was a slave. I thought he was always a free saint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So but he was not white. What was he?
I wasn't sure. I didn't get that far, but I realized he was a slave. But I'll have to check. Let's do a quick Google then. Let's see who he was.
I wonder if it had anything to do with the Orthodox, and they would have been what, Greeks? Oh, I'm not sure.
Let's see. St. Patrick. Let's see. He was a Romano-British Christian missionary and a bishop in Ireland, known as Apostle of Ireland.
So the Romans would have been considered something like the Gypsies back then, not so?
Yeah, no, he apparently is Roman Britain. He was born in Roman Britain. So that was before. This is well before all the other, the Norman invasion, all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't say. But if he was Roman, he very well could have been from Africa. Sources: work survived. There's St. Patrick. These are blah 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 blah. Dating. The dates of Patrick's life are uncertain. There are conflicting traditions regarding the year of his death. His own writings provide no evidence for any dating more precise than the 5th century generally. So, doesn't go on to say anything else about his ethnicity. Just say he was born. Patrick was born at the end of the Roman rule in Britain. His birthplace is not known with any certainty. Some traditions place it in what is now England, one identifying it as Glanoventa, modern Cumbria, modern day Cumbria, Ravenglass in Cumbria. Wow.
They say today is also St. Gertrude's Day, so everyone was sending me that because I'm a crazy cat lady.
St. Gertrude? Who's St. Gertrude?
Saint Gertrude. They said she's a patron saint of the patron saint of cats.
Oh, okay.
It's her day as well.
So that's right up your alley, Kim.
Yeah, everyone was sending me that today.
Ah, Lord.
So she was a German nun. But her, so she's also recognized today.
St. Gertrude.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta look that up. Apparently Germany is still heavily Christian, I mean, like they still celebrate Christian traditions heavily more than America does in the Bible Belt in the United States.
Yeah.
You can have holidays that are still Christian.
Oh, yeah, I would believe that. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah. And they say Hitler also was ultra Christian too.
Hitler was Christian. Oh, I mean,
that's what drove him to actually persecute the Jews, because that was part of his motivation to persecute the Jews.
He was misguided. Clearly, we know that was,
Yeah, misguided. But something, the Jews went through a lot of pain and suffering over the last 2,000 years or so, and so he was just hopefully the last of their persecution. But they're still God's chosen people.
Yes, they are indeed.
Yeah.
And the Bible talks about it, and they are like they call them the salt of the earth, and we as the Gentile children have become that salt of the earth too.
But after Jesus Christ, we've been grafted in. After Jesus Christ
we are now also the children.
We are now part of that body. It's not exclusively for them anymore. We are all children. We have all been brought into the Lamb, into the service by the blood of the Lamb and Jesus Christ. And so, while the Jews were the chosen people, yes, but I also understand too. Consider the source who wrote most of those texts. Wouldn't you say you were the chosen person as well?
I mean, I'm we're part of the chosen generation, part of the royal priesthood.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say you're the chosen one? I would say I was the chosen one as well. I would speak with confidence.
I mean, we're all chosen in our own way.
Exactly.
Right. I am here. If you see my camera, just go off for a second, right?
Oh no, I know how it goes. Once your audio stills in, we can still love you. I can put the camera on me actually. So yeah. So we were talking about Putin as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, some developing news here with the ICC. I know you were telling me a bit about it, and then I went and I found it. And it's interesting, for the International Criminal Court. They say, hey, they found it's taken them an entire year
to put a arrest warrant out for him, right? But apparently, here's the thing too, Kim. Russia isn't signed to the ICC.
They aren't. So what? They're outside of jurisdiction for
outside of jurisdiction, yeah. They're not signed to the ICC. And so I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but they're not signed to the ICC.
So what's the implications of that? Are they now free from this?
No, they're not, because the ICC can deem it an international incident where they committed a crime against one of their members, and I think Ukraine is a member of the ICC. And so there's really no way to escape from the ICC if they want to bring you into jurisdiction. Wow. Once you're being on this earth, they could bring you into jurisdiction.
Right.
That was the purpose of starting it, because of course you're gonna have some countries that don't want to sign on to the ICC.
What is it going to take for them to arrest him? Does he have to travel to a foreign country that is an ICC member, or what is it?
Yeah. Essentially, that's what's going to have to happen, because they can't go in and kidnap him. So they're
Right.
going to have to wait for until he travels, and they have to get him off of soil, off of Russian soil.
Right, but okay, so if he
To
were
make
to
it legitimate in
any
their
of his
mind.
allies, if he goes to any of his allies, that's like China and Iran and Syria and things like that. They're the ones that have been in support of Putin.
Yeah.
You know, they've lended aid when it comes to artillery and things like that.
Mhm.
So what does it say? You think he's going to risk it?
Maybe, because he still has diplomatic immunity as well. And so even if he travels, see, the ICC's rules are so strict, but they just why they would want to get him, they still have to go through a lot of things to make it justified in their own system why they had to pick him up. So he still has diplomatic immunity as the head of state. And so they just can't pick him up like that anyway, even if he travels. And so it's going to be a challenge really bringing him to justice.
And
So
then
once-
it would also be, I mean, okay, so they can arrest him, but then he would also have to face the court. And
No, they can't really arrest. Once he's the head of state of Russia, they can't just arrest him like that. He still has diplomatic immunity. Like first, for example, if he were to step down from being the president of Russia, then he would be like a free citizen. Then they would feel justified to pick him up. If he were to travel to Korea or China or let's say, for example, Vietnam, and he makes his own personal trip, yeah, they can pick him up then. But if he remains the president of Russia and he travels under Russian government business, they cannot pick him up. At least they don't want to pick him up because it would send the wrong signal of the ICC that they can pick up any despot, any dictator, any leader of any country, and they would have to justify why did they pick up this leader of another country, and they don't want to have to go through all of that, So it's going to be a challenge. He is going to have to remain president of Russia for the rest of his life for them to actually pick him up.
and I'm sure he probably won't mind.
Yeah, he's trending towards it anyway.
Yeah.
We see Xi Jinping is now president for life inside China. And so I think that's what they're trending to, man.
Well, that's their dynasty. They've taken over.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what you get for communists.
Exactly. I'm glad you said it, Kim. I'm glad you said it because that's what communism actually leads to, It actually leads to a certain class inside that communist structure, and it always leads to a dictatorial structure. It always leads to this dynasty. So you might as well have kept the democracy or the monarchy anyway. Because it always leads to that. It always eventually leads to that with communism. Anyone who talks communism or socialism is a crazy idiot, is a fool. They don't know any better. They're talking on their head. They don't see how the rest of the story plays out.
I believe that they're brainwashed. I mean, I see them right with the Venezuelans.
Yes.
And they consider themselves more socialists, and they consider themselves in their heads, they don't see them as being communists. Anything close to that. But I've seen them where they have defended the Maduro regime, Chavez regime, and they've always defended their allies with Russia and India. And India is a democracy, but India is friends with all these people too, right? But they're also so-called allies of the US. So I'm not sure how that plays out, but America never they still keep an eye on India because you never know what happened.
Yeah. It's amazing that they bypassed India and went straight to China to develop China. I think we spoke about that in one episode before.
Yeah.
And India seemed like the better pick anyway to develop. And they had just as much manpower, just as much skilled labor as well. But I guess, like you say, China was building all those widgets and all the technological capacity. So India wasn't doing that then, India is getting into it now. But actually, India is more into manufacturing, right? And construction. More than they are with electronics. Yeah. And so America doesn't need that.
And they're heavy on medicines and the pharmaceutical industry and things like that.
Yes. Biotech. That's right. That's right. America doesn't need that. America needs cheap iPhones and Samsungs, and cell phones. Yeah, they need computer parts. iPads. That's what they need. Or that's what they want.
So Russia has actually issued a statement on this entire thing. I saw something like the Kremlin spokesman. He said that Russia does not recognize the ICC and they consider it legally void. Yeah. They say it's outrageous and unacceptable. I think it was one of their spokesmen, Dmitry Peskov.
Yeah. See, they don't recognize the ICC, but that don't mean they still can't arrest him. They still could arrest him if he steps down from being the president of Russia, and they know that.
I mean, I guess it's going to take, the ICC is well equipped to do something like this. Haven't they done anything like this before?
As far as I remember, not anything on this scale with some of it as large as Putin. The only thing I can remember is Slobodan Milosevic, right? Remember the Serbian and Bosnian massacre?
Yeah.
But he was already deposed as the leader of Bosnia and Serbia. Was Slobodan Milosevic is Serbia or Bosnia? Before I make any ignorant statement. I think he was Bosnia, wasn't he?
That was in the 90s.
No, president of Serbia. Yeah, president of Serbia. He was president of Serbia. Yeah, he was the last person, but he was ready to pose after they picked him up. So technically, that was within their range. That was within their sphere of interest.
Okay.
But no one else other than that I've seen that they've actually gone after to any great extent.
Like Uganda at one point or something like that.
Yeah, but Idi Amin was ready to pose as well too. So he was already out. Idi Amin was already sick when they went after him. They also had Pinochet, but Pinochet had already left Chile.
Right, and then there was Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia. Yeah, those guys are already out of power, and most likely Putin is going to stay on power for the rest of his life. He has to stay off any arrest from the United States. Yeah. And they're going to let him stay there as well, unless he has some kind of mental disease or mental illness, but he cannot competently serve as president of Russia. And so,
you think, I mean, they've pulled this out of the hatchet after 1 year. It's over 1 year now since this war has ensued. And I'm wondering if, that there was hints that Putin was sick. I think he was nursing an illness some time ago. In February, we heard some news of that, and they were thinking about as to how soon will he die, because they were looking at his health. There were some rumors that he actually had blood cancer and things like that. So I'm not too sure if
U.S. propaganda, Kim.
You think, I mean,
that's U.S. propaganda. They always do that. It's U.S. propaganda. And you can imagine over there, it's U.S. propaganda. You got to be careful when you listen to these reports.
I saw it from Newsweek. I consider
Newsweek, right? Yeah, they're so trusted, right? And so
all
the American media jumps in on this propaganda line. Once they get the talking point from their CIA agent or operative, they all run the same tagline. So be careful of them. And actually, in Russia and these other countries that are against the United States, they have their own propaganda as well. They have their own state-run media. It's just that they are blatant with theirs, where the state actually runs the actual media, but here they're more covert. They'll have their particular reporters who only could come into the Pentagon. This one reporter can only go into the Pentagon, and this one reporter can only go into the White House under certain circumstances. So that's what the United States does, and they put their stories in strategically. They've masked their propaganda, which is good. That's why they're afraid of free media like us. This podcast here, Kim, is the free media. We are not owned by any corporation. We are out here doing what we want to do, and we're saying what we want to say. We're telling the truth. And so they're going to, that's how they did with Joe Rogan as well. They tried to discredit him after they found he got so big. So they're afraid of the free media like this, Kim. That's what makes it so important. And we're not big. I'm not saying that we're big and we're out there and we have this great magnitude, right? But still, that's why they hate the free media, because they can't control it. They can't buy persons like myself to any great extent, because we love what we do.
Right. I mean, but we still have, we're still guided. I mean, you call that, strategic news and things like that. I don't know. Well, if he's, I've been hearing hints for some time that Putin has been sick. Long time ago, probably. Yeah, since I was. Yeah.
And they were trying to kill Fidel Castro from the 70s, Kim. Remember that?
They were trying to kill Castro, and he lived so long,
Yeah, he lived so long, right? And they couldn't do it.
But when Chavez got sick, though, I'm going to sound really horrible here, but in my newsroom at the time, us reporters, it's like, okay, are we hearing that Chavez is sick? Let's see who's going to win. Let's make a bet as to how long he's going to last. Oh,
Kim, that's terrible, Kim. See, I know you had an evil streak in you, That's terrible.
It's horrible. Just was like, y'all can't be serious. And they would count the days, because they were looking at the news that was coming out from next door. And they were trying to look out for it. It's like, okay, one of the reporters actually guessed correctly. It was just bragging rights.
Yeah, I know, right?
But that's it's cruel in a way, but that's news reporters, because we hear those things all the time on, hey, what are we going to do with it?
Mhm. Do you find yourself becoming numb with all the things that you hear on a daily basis?
I see my colleagues becoming numb.
Mm,
So, I mean, every day that we see the TTPS put out a missing person,
mm,
a missing teenager, a
mm,
missing a missing girl, a missing female, and I don't like to take it for granted
yeah,
because we've seen it become really horrible
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
risky scenarios. Now, there are some places you see the children's home. The children have run away from the girls' home and things like that.
Mhm,
You have to be careful. And then they find them. I have learned, I've matured. So
mhm.
so the one of the houses that I worked before,
Mm,
they made it a point not to publicize these things on the newscast because they say they're usually found somewhere and the authorities usually know their whereabouts.
mhm,
I am very conscious about what these young girls might be going through. You
mhm.
never our society is a kind of society that say, oh, they run away to go buy a man or a
Yeah,
boyfriend,
yeah,
things like that. But you never know what these young ladies are actually running away from,
yeah,
whether
exactly,
it's a domestic situation where they're being abused or where they're being
exactly.
verbally assaulted, things like that. They are uncomfortable or they're missing their family, even though they're in a home. They
Mhm.
want to see their grandma, they want to see their aunt, someone that they know loves them.
Yes, yes, yes,
Right?
yes.
And usually that is the case.
Yeah, yeah. I understand, Kim.
So that is not something I've gotten numb to. I don't get numb to crime. Every single murder, it
Mm,
shudders me. And
really?
it does. You actually feel it inside your chest. It shakes you. I can't report another murder
Mm,
just like that. I
mm,
can't take it for granted. It's someone's daughter, it's someone's son,
mm,
it's someone's family member, relative. At one point in time, no person is an island.
mm,
So that I mean, we have crime news every day.
mhm,
We see at least five murders a day.
mm,
And that is what is made known to us through the police and what is reported.
mm,
There
mhm,
are many that go on we never heard about.
mhm.
So I don't think I get numb to it. I mean, when it comes to geopolitics, it's a bit we kind of talk a bit about it. Politics is something you make fun of
Mm.
because politicians usually throw their songs and
What do
things
you
like
call Stuart Young? You call him Stuart Little?
that. Yeah. So we have names for everybody, you know. I mean, Patrick Manning, a former prime minister, they call him Uncle Patos.
God
Kamala
rest, God rest dead.
Sasa is Tanti Kams.
Tanti Kamla. I love that one. Tanti Kamla.
Right? And then, I mean, I'm not going to say what we call our current prime minister, but he knows.
They call him Dr. Keith Growley.
I'll say Keithos. They say Keithos. That's a nice one, right? There's another term. We have a chocolate covered snack.
Really?
So because of how he's bald head, they probably tease and call him that.
Gotta love your prime minister, man. We don't have any pet names for our prime minister or our leaders over here. I mean, not that I've really heard, or that none that stuck to me. We
I
used to
know
call Ingram Hugh Biggity. We used to call
Biggity?
Hugh Biggity. Yeah, Hugh Biggity.
Hugh Biggity.
Yeah, Hugh
I
Biggity.
think I heard that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We used to call Perry Christie Cool PC.
Cool
And of course,
PC.
yeah, Cool PC.
What was Menace?
Minister didn't have a name. He didn't have a nickname. Nobody really, he was nondescript, nobody really cared like that for him to really endear themselves to him. So there was just like, he was Dr. Menace.
Dr. Menace, right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I recall hearing the nicknames for Perry Christie and for Hubert Ingraham, but I did not hear one for Menace. I don't
No.
know. Well, I mean, if it were there, anyone's doctor, we call him, hey, what's up, doc? Like what Bugs Bunny would say.
Nah, he didn't have any of that, man. He
He was
didn't.
an actual medical doctor, not so.
Yeah,
He's a guy,
he was a gynecologist. Yeah, yeah.
right?
But no one really, he never really stuck to anybody. Like no one really endeared themselves to him. So they couldn't make one up for him. So it was like he was already a grown man. See, all the Ingram and Christie and those, they were knocking around from the 80s, from the 70s and 80s. They were involved. And so they've developed the name for themselves. And so was Brave Davis too. Philip, our current prime minister, And
Right.
his name was Philip Brave Davis. His nickname was Brave. So he was around a long, long while, in the background of politics. And people got to know them, That's how they got to know them with their nicknames, and that's how they endeared themselves to the people. But Minutes didn't have that, He just didn't have that.
I mean, coming down to the end, I saw you all making fun of some of the things he would say. He came across as a bit passive aggressive, not so?
Yeah, passive aggressive. He was very aggressive, man. He would shut down the media, yeah, But I was saying, I don't think he was comfortable in front of the media, He wasn't comfortable speaking to anybody with any consequence, and that's what his downfall was. To be honest with you, you have to learn how to speak to people, man. You have to learn how to talk to people, how to have like how we having a conversation here, Kim. He didn't know how to have this. He could not have this.
I mean, the same thing we can say about our prime minister. I mean, Dr. Rowley does not come across in the media, cannot really stick a mic in his face and, hey, Prime Minister, tell us about this. He's not going to say anything good. He's going to come across very crass, very aggressive,
Really?
not friendly, to be the least. I mean, I remember walking with Prime Minister Manning and even Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Every event that I went to with Kamala Persad-Bissessar, there were droves of mics around her. It was hell to find a spot to push that mic and talk to her, But she was always available to the media to talk about every single thing from finance to child care, because she was big on taking care of the children, because she established the children's life fund, and she did a lot for education and things like that. So everyone was always pushing a mic to ask her questions about those things. When it comes to Prime Minister Rowley, he does not make himself available post any event. He is quickly swept away, taken away. So we don't have access to him. We could have sent a text message to the former prime ministers. I remember walking about with Prime Minister Manning when he did his district walkabouts, and he would talk to you. You just had to keep up the pace. I mean, whenever he said he announced he was going to do a walkabout, him and Pandey were head to head at the time, right? Because Pandey at the time was opposition leader. This is before Kamala, and both of them, they're heart patients, so they've got pacemakers, right? So we used to say they're going to walk out the pacemaker.
Manning had a pacemaker?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because he went to Cuba for treatment quite often. And
Okay.
I think Pandey has one, but Pandey is in his 80s, is going strong still,
Yeah, he's still going strong. I didn't realize how sick Raleigh was. No, Manning was until he actually passed. I didn't realize he got all this sickness, and he was serving Trinidad while he was sick. That's what makes him so brave,
He got a stroke in 2011, I believe, 2011 or 2012. It was around the anniversary of Kamala's win. I remember it because they were celebrating her, and then we heard the news that, hey, they took him into the hospital. So I mean, I remember these things. As a reporter, when you're covering the headlines and writing it, you remember,
Yeah.
It happened, and it was surprising.
But that's how you want your leaders to go out. You want your leaders to go out on their shield, working hard to their last, getting sick, getting broke, serving tirelessly in government. And, that's what Patrick Manning was, from what you're telling me. He served his very last.
I would believe so. I mean, obviously, when he got sick, when he lost, he had to hand over the leadership, and he did so to Dr. Rowley.
Actually, Rowley took it, right?
I believe he was the next in line, the deputy political leader of the party. So naturally it would, descend to him.
But Manning didn't really take to him, right? Manning was kind of kind of cool on him.
No, that we have statements on the Hansard. It's in record. It plays ever so often when you need a reminder. Manning called him a wajang.
Yeah, and a raging bull.
And it went down in Parliament because of the things that he did in Scarborough, I think with the Scarborough Hospital, Las Alturas. Those are the projects that have some stain on his name.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people have brushed it aside, you know, when it comes to Kamala, it's life sport and or whatever else. So yeah, but Kamala was always one that always fired her anyone that was caught doing anything wrong. She was quick. It's like, all right, we're calling press conference now. You go on. That's it. The end. Next man up.
Yeah.
And that was her kind of thing. I mean, Patrick Manning too, he was always vocal.
Mhm.
I never really saw him fire anyone. He would demote you. He would put you
Mhm.
somewhere else.
Yeah, he humiliates you.
Yeah.
Sometimes getting demoted is worse than getting fired, you know.
I believe so. I mean, we're seeing everybody's speculating that happening right now with the former AG Faisal Rawi.
Yeah. That's humiliating. He still have to sort of look at his former job, right? Because he was
Right.
AG, right? And now he's like what, painting buildings now?
His rural and local government minister here.
Yeah. He that's worse. He's clearing down trees and bushes. Wow. He went to attorney generals and now clearing down bushes.
You're
Wow.
in charge of local government.
Mhm.
With that, the thing is, I don't know. I mean, the person that held his position before has gone to the Ministry of Agriculture, so I wouldn't say that is really a promotion and demotion and just being tossed around.
Mm.
The government, and because of that, he was able to talk about the bringing about the local government reform. Remember, I told you that we were supposed to have local government elections in December.
Mm.
December and March it was due, and now they've postponed it for an entire year because they
Okay.
said they need to do reform to the constitution that governs local government. They're saying that they want to try and bring more fiscal responsibilities to the local government, the regional corporations.
Mm.
They even want to put expand it to them being in charge of, I think, schools. Always some responsibility from the Ministry of Education. But I think this week or last week we saw that part of the what would you say? There was some kind of responsibility in the local government. So local government is actually responsible for secondary roads. Ministry of Works and Transport is responsible for main roads. And that's like the highways and the main roads that you pass. Secondary roads are like your streets that go, you know, sideways streets and things like that. So regional government, regional corporation is in charge of that. And I'm hearing that they took away the secondary roads from local government.
So that has less to do.
They've trimmed his portfolio.
Oh Lord.
I mean, it's been, if you look at all social media, you're going to see that every Trini is complaining about our infrastructure and our roads.
Yeah, the potholes.
Right. It's awful. It's really, really horrible. It's a strain to drive. It's seriously, you're dodging a pothole. You have to choose the lesser of the evil, lesser of the two. and then if you've got some big oncoming trucks, you know, what are you supposed to do? And people rather get into a fender bender than go into
into a Mack truck. Kim, stop being dramatic, man.
No,
in front of a Mack truck that hit the pothole.
Trinidadians would say as well.
Kim, you guys stop.
I'd be cheaper to fix a fender bender. A little nudge. I'll take the risk.
No, you said run into a Mack truck coming down the lane and rather than hit a pothole.
I said have a fender bender as opposed to
what you said before the fender bender, you said a big Mack truck, right?
I mean, you're avoiding big trucks like that. So what are you supposed to do?
Run into a Mack truck, then hit a
You
pothole.
can't drive a straight line in Trinidad anymore, okay? You're swerving like this all the way.
Oh my God, Kim. You are too much tonight, man.
So I mean, that's Trinidad for you right now.
I know. That's the Bahamas too, actually, Kim, because we got potholes like craters, man. It was really bad about 6 months ago. It was really bad. They've started to pave a bit more now, but there's still plenty of potholes, man. And you can't escape them. And our potholes, I don't know about Trinidad's topography and the Trinidad's landscape, right? But our roads are very, very wavy. A lot of them are just wavy. So you're not sure when you're going to hit an actual pothole or not. So you could be driving down, all of a sudden you have this dip, bam, you're in a pothole.
The same.
Same? Okay, well, yeah. I guess all island states are like that, right? So it's just like, wow, I can't believe I hit that pothole, man. And you think that you're driving smooth, all of a sudden, bam, you're in a pothole. And you wouldn't see it because you only see like the top of the road, but then there's a dip right beneath that. and the pothole just goes straight down, man. It's crazy, Kim.
Oh.
It's crazy, man. And people are really
was-
complaining about it, man.
I mean, a few weeks ago, we took a trip to go to the beach
Mm,
in Maracas Beach, and to go there, you've got to climb these all mountains on northern range,
mhm,
and the roads are winding because you're climbing up the mountains and you're going across the mountains, going up and then coming back down and then going back up and coming back down to reach to that beach, right? It was a road that was built by the United States. I think the United States built it, right? Because at one point in time, they had their army base there, and that's when they used to receive the submarines
yeah.
back in one of the World War One and World War Two, I believe.
Mm,
One of those. And so they built these roadways to have access points.
mm,
And those roads, they're not paved, they're taken over by grass. This is all in tourist site, might I add.
wow.
That if you want to go to a beach, it's Maracas Beach, and that's the one beach that you go to.
Mm.
And it was painful to go to, and then we had landslides during our heavy rains. So part of the road is already cut, and they had to have police. It's so dangerous because they're doing a rehabilitative work to kind of see about the landslide and the land that is coming down, and the traffic, because a lot of people do go to Maracas, especially I think it was Carnival week we went.
Mm.
We had a lot of tourists. It was horrible. Stressful to drive. When you come back, you've got a headache, your neck is hurting, and stress.
Yeah. Typical day at the beach ends up in stress. You went there to de-stress. You come back with more stress. I know how it goes, Kim.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we had no tourists in town, and that was the most peaceful I ever experienced walking downtown. But then, with no tourists, there were no shops that were open. I know we need the tourists, but sometimes those people are annoying. They don't realize that they are in the middle of my workspace. They're walking and ambling around the place, they're walking at their own slow pace, getting in people's way. I'm trying to get up and down to work and do my business, and they're walking up and down. They know they don't jaywalk in New York. They know they do not cross the street without being told they can cross the street. So why do they come in and jaywalk, Kim? They come in, they jaywalk, man.
I mean, not all of them
Bring your
are
car.
probably from Miami or New York. Who knows? They're probably from North Carolina, where it's really slow. They've just got their crossing or something.
Lord, but there's no state in the United States that allows jaywalking. Jaywalking is criminal in all 52 states, or 50 states in the United States. There's no state in the United States that you can actually jaywalk. So why do they come here and jaywalk, man? Why do they come in and jaywalk, man? Why are you going to annoy me? Keep the same practices that you had when you were in New York or California or Ohio or wherever, or even Miami,
Maybe they're coming from Texas. Everything is big.
Yeah. Kim, don't give them no excuse. I love the tourists. Man, my God, they need to get out of people's way downtown, man. I love our tourists, but still, they need to give us a break. Yeah. Be more respectful, man. Anyway, that's people for you, though.
Yeah. I mean,
I have this.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I have this thing where I actually try to imagine which one is the racist one. I know it's kind of weird, right? Like walking down, I wonder if this guy right here, if he actually likes black people or not, even though he's in a black country. I have the most weirdest thoughts when I see tourists downtown. Like I wonder where he's from. I wonder if he's a banker. I wonder if he's a lawyer. I just ask these things in my head. I play this game when I see them. Oh, this one's here with this. That's not his wife. That's his sweetheart. That's his mistress. He's not here with his wife. She's not here with her husband.
Oh my God.
I play these games when I see them, because I like the parlor game of all. I like the parlor game of it. I'm trying to guess, who they are and what's going on with them.
I think that we're invisible to them because they're just in a foreign country. They're not even going to notice us. To me, whatever. They look like a bunch of retirees now coming to try and have some fun. They've saved up all their money and it's like, all right, we're going on a cruise.
That's what you get from Trinidad? You get a lot of retirees in Trinidad?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I see them in Port of Spain, because they come to Port of Spain, and you see them crossing the streets from the harbor, and they look like a bunch of retirees. They're mostly elderly. I admire them because they do quite a good bit of walking. Then again, in the States, they do a lot of walking too, but at that age, I don't think I want to do that much walking.
If you want to see the city, you'll see the city, Kim. You would walk Yeah, I bet if someone gives you a trip to France, you'll walk that entire Paris.
New York, you walk. I mean, everything you had to do in New York is walking, you know,
Gotta
everyone
walk, yeah.
is walking. So
Same thing in
anyway,
London as well, too. You know, most of it is walking in central London.
yeah,
You can walk where you have to go. Yeah, you have some tubes. They could take you there a little quicker, right? But still, though, it's mostly you could walk most of the places that you want to, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But we strayed away from Putin, man. So what else is happening, Kim? You said something about some IDB meetings as well. What's going on with those?
I mean, I think the IDB is having their seminars this
Mhm.
week. It's going on in Panama right now.
Okay.
It's ongoing. It started yesterday,
Mhm.
and it's continuing until I think Sunday.
Mhm.
Got quite a large amount of panels. So they're talking about funding
Mhm.
in certain things like gender diversity when it comes to sustainable to meeting the sustainable goals and things like that.
Mhm.
But
Okay. Okay.
you remember how we talked about they were, you know, they're mostly Spanish.
Yeah.
I looked at the lineup, and the lineup was everything was Spanish speaking.
Yeah. 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 And the actual president speaks Portuguese. So
He
I go
spoke English at the opening.
to English. Okay.
Yeah, so he spoke English, but everything else was Spanish.
Mm.
So, I mean, they had their translators for some of it, but not everything was clear
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
understand and follow. And then I looked at how even all people that are representatives that were on the panel,
Mm.
they also spoke more toward the South American countries, Central American countries,
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than the Caribbean islands, because all problems are totally different.
Yeah. 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 That's true. They don't have to deal with climate change to the extent that we do.
No, I don't think so. And I honestly was looking forward to seeing more representation from the Caribbean. I even saw Raquel Moses sit down on one of them. She was on the Sustainable Infrastructure and Regional
Yeah.
Integration
Yeah.
one. And when she started to speak, she tried to talk about what we were doing in Trinidad and making it more green energy. So I think she represented.
Mhm.
Obviously, she spoke about that big project that is happening with you guys in the Bahamas. And I
Which
think
one is that?
Fox,
For what?
one that's happening with Rick Fox.
Oh yeah, Rick Fox's Rick Fox's project. Yeah, now I don't know much about that. You know, I've heard about it. I've seen a story about it, but it's pretty much gone dead. You know, so I got to find some more. I'm going to chase it up next week, see what's going on with that because that was a big announcement. Nothing else happened after that. So, you know, I got to see what's going on.
Because I think they are eligible for the Earth Shot.
Mm.
If they did not win, they're eligible for the Earth Shot prize, which comes up later this year. Because you know you get a good bit of pounds from England to support your green initiative.
Okay.
But she was talking about it from the idea of adopting green technologies and solutions to, you know, build a little more resilient infrastructure and as well as partnering with the private sector investment through ensuring that it's more innovative. Because we're not going to really depend on governments to see this kind of innovation take place. If we
No.
really want to see it, it's going to happen from partnering with the private sector. And these companies who have gone in depth with regard to research and development. So it was interesting to see her. I think Professor Avinash Prasad, he's in one of the seminars as well. And then yesterday there was the one on poverty and inequality, which went in. I think we covered it yesterday with regard to early childhood care. But there are references, even though the Professor Sue Walker is Jamaican, she spoke more from a Chilean and Brazilian perspective. So she said it was, some of it was probably used in Jamaica. I mean, when they talk about social development, when they talk about aiding poverty and helping out, Trinidad has quite a good bit of programs that I think have been somewhat successful. And she could have used those initiatives as examples to kind of give us some presence at the IDB seminar.
Mm.
We're also partners. We've been with the IDB for quite some time.
Mhm.
We've got a number of Caribbean countries involved with the IDB.
Yeah, wait till Kamala Harris hears about this, Kim. She's gonna set them right. Yeah. Wait till our big sister Kamala hears about that, right?
I think we need to see a little more equity. I'm championing this. I said it in our last show and I'm saying it again.
Mm.
We need to see more being done with the Caribbean. There's a lot happening here.
Yeah.
And we need that kind of representation. We have populations that are in need.
Mhm.
Following the COVID-19 pandemic, those disparities increased.
Yes.
So gaps increased when it came to early childhood care, and poverty increased. What are we doing about it? We have things that are in place, but it's not getting highlighted.
Mhm.
We need to know. I mean, when you hear about it happening in the Caribbean, okay, we say it could happen here too.
Mhm.
You don't lend that kind of knowledge and expertise within our region. So that's why, you can't really lump us together.
Yeah, with those larger Latin American countries, yeah, because we have different problems.
And I mean, yes, we're in the southern hemisphere, the southern part of the western hemisphere.
Oh, Kim, we broke up. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, Kim. We're a totally different set of countries, man. Like they don't have to deal with sea level rise on their coasts the way we do. We get one large rainfall, one storm surge, and that could wipe out our entire coastline. I could wipe out half of an island, to be honest with you. So Argentina and Chile don't have to deal with that. And they're gonna have a country after a storm surge. But if a storm surge really hits the Bahamas, it hits Nassau and New Providence, that's the island gone right then and there. So yeah, man. So while these conversations take place in Panama, let's hope they can bring more equity and more diversity to the Caribbean cause as well. But in saying that, it is a Latin American bank. So what more can you expect from it? Other than that, it is a Latin American bank. It is a Spanish-speaking bank. It was started for the Spanish, and so really it is what it is. So yeah, Kim, I was saying it's a Latin American bank. It really is what it is. There's nothing we really can do about it. We have the Caribbean Development Bank, but they don't get as much attention as the way the IDB does. We're a part of the IDB. I used to work for the IDB one time ago. I told you that, right? I was a consultant there for a while.
Yes, I remember seeing that on your resume, and that actually intrigued me. It's like, hey, Yuri, has experience there.
Yeah, I do, right? I do. It broke my heart when they didn't renew my contract, but I didn't realize that was God playing a part in my life, shaping me the way He wanted me to go. So I look back at it now. I thank you for the opportunity, but I don't really bother with it anymore. It wasn't for me, and I should have embraced God's calling on my life a long while ago. I wouldn't have been struggling as much as I did. But I see where He wants to take me. I see His purpose. I see His purpose now, and nothing can stop that now. I'm doing exactly what He wants me to do. Yeah, I'm on His time. I devoted my life totally to Him. I see exactly where He wants me to go. And so once I've done that, He said He'll give me the desires of my heart. And so I'm doing what He wants me to do.
So you enjoy being in the media. What do you say the media bug bit you then?
Kim, what can I say, man? Something, I went on an interview about 3 months ago. Last year, November. And the interviewer asked me, how do you find yourself in the media? Why did you like getting yourself in the media? I said, something? I always liked the media, because when I was a young person, I always watched the Bill O'Reilly show. I always watched the Bill O'Reilly show and the Chris Matthews show. I was always glued to those shows.
Show.
Yeah, I know, right? I was always glued to those shows. For some reason, my mummies make fun of me all the time. Say, why are you watching these old white men? I just love the show. I just love Bill O'Reilly show. I love the way he came on with his monologue. I loved his impact segment. I loved the no spin zone. I loved all of this. I loved the way he packaged the show. It was entertaining to me. I loved it. I even love talk radio right now, but I've gotten out of it to an extent because I've gotten really, really busy. But I still like talk radio. Even American talk radio I listen to. Even British talk radio I listen to. Yeah.
A podcast, it has taken over radio, won't you say?
Yeah, it is.
You added a face video to it. It's a talk show. It's a radio.
That's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here, I love Joe Rogan as well, too. I love Joe Rogan. There's another podcaster on right now. He's kind of underground black podcaster, DJ Star from the Star and Buckwild show. my mom hates him because he curses too much, but still, I love that show. I love the way he packages it. I love his delivery. I love his approach. I love his comedic timing as well. And there's some old podcasts, some old radio shows from the Opie and Anthony show. You ever heard of the Opie and Anthony show?
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it was the US show, the Opie and Anthony show with Patrice O'Neill. They have some Patrice O'Neill episodes there. You know who Patrice O'Neill is, right? The former black comedian, Patrice O'Neill, he passed away.
I believe so. I think
tall black guy, 6'6" black guy, big heavy black guy. Yeah, Patrice O'Neill. Those episodes are pure gold, Kim. Those episodes are pure gold. If you go and listen to those, you would see the delivery and you see the timing and you see the entertainment value of that. I said, wow. I said, I love that. I wish I was him. I wish I could deliver those punchlines the way he did.
Yeah. For me,
So, yeah.
I started off obviously, and I think I started off in print, and I enjoyed it. I was always a writer.
Okay.
And, getting into writing, so I always thought, hey, I'm going to stick with writing. I never knew that I would have entered into broadcast. And I entered into radio, and then from radio I went into television.
How did you find the transition?
I mean, it was somewhat a little different from obviously writing for print is totally different from how you write for broadcast.
Yes.
So television was sort of similar, but when you're packaging your news, it's a bit different because you've got the tagline, you've got a quick intro, and then you go into the entire package and timing your stories. And I think I enjoy broadcast in the sense that you give people their voices, and you get to hear what they want to say. You're not saying it everything. Obviously, when it comes to print, you've got to write everything verbatim.
Yes. That's the one challenge with print. But with broadcast, you just go to that segment, you could just play their video, they can say what they want, right?
And the visual impact of it, you always take into consideration the visual impact that is going to captivate your viewers.
Yes.
Keep them in tune.
Yes, indeed, Kim. Indeed. So I haven't gotten into broadcast yet, even though I've done talk shows before. That's what gave me the confidence to do this. And so, I think I like my own podcast. I don't need to go on anyone else's talk show. I love building my own thing. So
you've dipped your toe in it right now. You dipped your toe in broadcast. And what's next?
Yeah, we'll see. I'll be a media proprietor from here on in, Kim. We have the magazine, we have the public relations companies, and we have the podcast. So we're building a little empire here, a little media empire. So let's see how it goes,
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you here along with the ride, though, Kim. I can't do it without you. I cannot do this without you. I just cannot do it without you. I need you here with me. I cannot do this without you. You are my partner in this. I really appreciate your help. I really appreciate you being here, man.
Glad to be here.
Thank you, Kim. And we're coming on towards the end of the show. Any final thoughts, man? That's my begging. If Kerry begs you like that, you should stay with him for the rest of your life.
I'm gonna play this to him because he's wondering, what am I laughing at?
Yeah, play it back to him, man. Let him know how much I appreciate his wife. in a good, wholesome way. So yeah, man. So any final thoughts, Kim?
It's weekend. Don't drink too much Guinness. This St. Patty's Day.
I know, right?
You're going to your jazz club?
No. Actually, I'm going to study tonight. I have tests and presentations over the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to study and I'm going to do some reading tonight. But tomorrow night, I'm going to a pool hall with my friend, my college buddy. So we're going to go to a pool hall, shoot some pool for a while. Then I'm going to study for most of the day tomorrow after I go and get a workout, I get a jog, and probably hit the gym. And then I'll probably study for most of the afternoon and then go to my pool hall with my college buddy. And then, of course, Sunday is church. And then I have an interview for the LimeVibe podcast on Sunday afternoon with a friend of mine from Dominica by way of Antigua and Barbuda, Elvis Edwards. He's this cannabis retailer, wholesaler. And so he was talking about cannabis sales in the region, CBD oils. And he has a lot of CBD products, man. He has sunscreen, he has oils. Yeah, he's into it big, man. So I'm going to talk to Elvis on Sunday. So after that, that's my weekend. Then I'm back to the grind, the 9 to 5 class and work. So that's how I'm stacked. My life is fully booked, man. My life is fully booked. I would like to bring a woman into this, a female into this, but it's too much, Kim. It's too much. I can't do it all. If they're not going to get on this program, I can't be sidetracked, because one of these classes I'm taking is really kicking my hip, man. It's really kicking me in the tail end, and it's tough. It's difficult, and she's a difficult marker, and so it's not easy. So I have to concentrate really hard, try to pass this class. And most of these people are they're getting out of this class too. But I'm going to stick it out, Kim. I'm going to see how it plays out to the end, because if I dump it now, I still have to do it anyway. So I might as well finish it with it now, and see where it takes me.
Stick
So
it through. Till the very
yeah.
end.
Just go to the bitter end, man. Plus, if you fail, you always could do it again anyway. So why bring up yourself now? And then what if you fail it again the next time? If you drop out now, what if you fail it again that time?
Yeah.
Then you missed the opportunity to actually see if you actually finish it now. So let's finish it anyway. So Kim, that's us for the night. So this is Yori Camp saying good night from the LimeVibe Live podcast, along with my co-host, Miss Kimberly Ramkalawan. You guys have a great weekend. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also subscribe to our Facebook page. It really helps us out a lot. So please go to our Facebook page, LimeVibe, or go to our YouTube page, LimeVibe, and you could click subscribe, click like to the video, and it helps us out a lot. So good night. And once again, thank you so much. Goodbye.
Take care.
Yeah, that's it, Kim. You had fun tonight, Kim?
Share your computer audio.
Yeah, I'm sending it right now, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, let's go. I had fun tonight, man. Great show. Great show.
Made it in 5.